Hello, Chuck. Hello, Maxime.
Oh.
Today we are here especially to listen to Chuck. And thank you very much, Chuck, for giving your time for this conversation.
You bet.
We would like, first of all, if you can introduce yourself a little bit, where you are you living, and what is your background, your academic, your professional background.
Okay. Well, as you already gathered, my name is Chuck Smith. I am a recently retired psychologist. I live in a place called Weed, California, W-E-E-D. And it is 12 miles from Mount Shasta. For this occasion, I moved Mount Shasta into my room, as you can see. Now, it was not an easy task, but I did it just for you guys. I spent between 35 and 40 years doing psychology. And what I mean by that is I was seeing people for counseling, for therapy. I was teaching psychology classes, undergraduate and graduate. I was doing some consulting with business people. And for almost very much of that, I was an administrator in university settings. Near the end of that, a vice president of a university. My last full-time job was at Bastyr University in Seattle, where I was the chairman of the counseling and health psychology department. And so we were training undergraduate and graduate students in psychology, supervising them. And then I worked at the Bastyr Clinic in Seattle, seeing the public and training both future psychologists and naturopaths. Bastyr University is the largest trainer of naturopathic doctors in America, maybe one of the largest in the world. And so I got to use my skills in helping future doctors acquire better skills with their patients, better diagnostic skills, better conversation skills. So that's kind of it. Also along the way, so moving away from that, all through basically my adult life, I've been teaching spiritual counseling, spiritual subjects. Alice Bailey student from, I guess, around my age 25 until today, a long time. And so using esoteric psychology and using spirituality in counseling and trying to help people to develop their skills to do exactly that. So I've been a meditator since my 20s. And so that's a long time, since I'm 76 years old now. So I've been since my mid-20s until now. I've been a meditator. And so let's see, about 20 years ago, I came into association with Kepavarthi Kumar and the World Teacher Trust. And so I worked with him for the past 20 years. And so ask me anything else you want to know, because I am there to answer your questions.
I think, Maxime, as you are also a psychologist, maybe you can proceed with some questions connecting psychology and spirituality.
Yeah, I have plenty of questions for about psychology, and I don't know if all this will fit in that discussion. But before that, there is one thing I think that would be very important, is to could you describe how you came into spirituality? What was your path towards spirituality?
Mhm. Be glad to do that. And that's just, as for many of us, that was an evolution, still is an evolution. About age 16 or 17, I was telling somebody the other day, I started to question the nature of things, and I didn't know any better. I went to the public library in Los Angeles, and I checked out a New Testament, and I started to read the New Testament. That's all I knew to do. And I remembered that one of my teachers in high school had said that she was married to a minister. So I went to her and I asked for her help in helping me to understand the New Testament and this Jesus guy, you know. And so she arranged, she talked to her husband, and they arranged for a youth minister to come and talk with me in my home. And I started attending church. So I'd have been 16 or 17 years of age. I seemed to have a particular skill for religion. And so I very quickly became the leader of the youth group. Then I became a youth minister in the church. And then upon graduation from high school, I decided to go to a religious college. And so I started in about age 18 in a religious college, religion meaning Christianity, with the intention and purpose of becoming a Christian minister. And but I soon, if you will, kind of outgrew that path. It was too narrow for me, and a great deal of difficulty. I started searching for other pathways. That took me to all kinds of different things, including Eastern, put quotes around that, Eastern religion. Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda was one of those sources. So along the way, I started attending the Self-Realization Fellowship, the SRF, Yogananda's organization in the Los Angeles area. And then, Maxime, I can't clearly separate religion, spirituality, and psychology here because, okay, and I'm going to be very candid with you. Use it any way you want, cut out what you want. Okay. I was living in Canada during the Vietnam War. I decided I was going to go back to school in Los Angeles and was going to study psychology in Los Angeles. And I had stumbled across a copy of Roberto Azzioli, saying it in the Italian way, Roberto Azzioli's book, Psychosynthesis, a Manual of Techniques. And so I'm on my way back from Vancouver, British Columbia to Los Angeles on an airplane, flying at about 30,000 feet over the Cascade Mountain Range, reading the book. And all of a sudden, I had an experience in which I was raised in consciousness above my normal consciousness. And I was seeing the life that I had lived up to that point in review. It was very similar to a near-death experience as described. And I could see the mistakes I'd made, the people I'd known, the women I'd loved, the jobs I'd had, all of it passed in front of my mind's eye. And you know what? It was all okay. I felt nothing but warmth and acceptance toward my own life. And I realized, of course, later that that was an experience of the soul, which was saying to me, I approve of your life. Don't judge your mistakes. They're part of your learning experience in life. So that happened on an airplane ride at 30,000 feet. There's a metaphor there, if you want, about rising above. So when I got back to Los Angeles with this new knowledge of psychosynthesis, literally in my hand, I sought out the training center in Los Angeles for psychosynthesis. And I was going to graduate school in psychology and studying psychosynthesis. And I remember I had an experience when my life has been filled with experiences that are kind of not normal, I guess, for other people. And I was sitting one night reading Alice Bailey, the unfinished autobiography, a story of her life. And on one of these pages, she mentions her relationship and knowledge of Roberto Azzioli, who was the secretary of the Arcane School in Italy. And I realized that these two pathways, studying the Alice Bailey writings and studying psychosynthesis, are really two parts of one path. And I had been guided to study two things that seemed separate from each other. And then I found out that my coach and my teacher in psychosynthesis, her name was Edith Stauffer, was in fact a long-term student of Alice Bailey. And so my acquaintance with her was both about psychosynthesis, but also about Alice Bailey and the esoteric pathway. So I won't cover it all, but I did a lot of stuff in California, both in psychosynthesis and in the Alice Bailey esoteric tradition. I became the leader of a group of esoteric psychologists in Ojai, California, at the Meditation Mount, and it was mainly an American group. I don't know if there were many internationals in the group, but we were all esoteric psychologists, and I was the head of that group for a while as an esoteric psychologist. So that kind of gives you part of it. And then later, a whole bunch of experiences that led me to Cape of Arthi Kumar. When I met him, he revealed to me, Kumar did, our past life relationship, how we had known each other previously, what our roles had been previously in our past lives. And so, yeah, and then that led to 20 years with Master Kumar. So, whew, there you go. Gosh, I feel worn out already. I'm just tired already. You know?
Can you share a little bit for those people who doesn't know about Mount Shasta and its importance? What's the meaning of this place for the earth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And, Mount Shasta has been viewed, seen, and felt as a great spiritual place, apart from Master Kumar. But gurus from India, people from various traditions have come here to visit. There is a Zen Buddhist monastery here, community here that people live in. The Zen Buddhist teacher came here and had an aha moment that this is a very spiritual place, and then directed them to build an ashram here. So they have a meditation center and so on. I've not visited them. I see their monks around town, but what Kumar is teaching us, and I refer directly to Master Kumar then, is that the one who is called the Lord of the world, aka Sanat Kumara, the big boss, the Lord of our planet, the planetary logos. He, for reasons known to him, have divided his kingdom into two locations. One of them in the east and one of them in the west. Isn't that interesting? I also flash on the left and right brain when I say that, because they represent, in a sense, an inner pathway and an outer pathway as well. Well, Mount Shasta is the ashram, the headquarters of the Lord of the world. Hey, you can't get much better than that. Hang on just a minute. I'm going to reach for something. You're going to see me reach out of the frame here. Don't panic. I have not yet died, but I'll be right back. Huh? All right. I'm going to put this in front of me. Yeah? Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So this is having a little bit of a look-see. It's not coming out the way I'd hoped it to, but anyway, yeah, it's not showing the two. Yeah, there it goes. There goes a little bit. Anyway, here are the two sides of things. So, buddy. Okay. The rainbow bridge that connects the east and the west, which connects Mount Shasta with the eastern world of Sanat Kumara. So we're dealing with a mystical, strange place that somehow connects with and releases the energy of the Lord of the world into the West. I sometimes have to smile about this a little bit because theoretically, to get to the eastern location, you would have to find it on the inner plains in the Gobi Desert somewhere. Okay, and then you could find the eastern ashram in the inner world of the Lord of the world. Here, it's inside of a mountain, and you can just get a car and drive your way up the mountain. That's very, I think that's very Western, don't you? Here you build a road and drive up a mountain. There you've got to somehow find your way to the Gobi Desert. But it also, according to the teachings of Kepavarthi Kumar, it releases the ray energies, Maxime, 1, 2, and 7. So it releases a threefold energy into the world, everywhere. It stimulates California, which is, and if you guys, I know using words that only are esoterically educated people would understand, but it releases this energy into Lemuria, the ancient place of Lemuria. Okay, bringing forth the old energies that had to do with higher intuition, that which is beyond the mind, more than mind, greater than mind. And so it has to do with what's going to be unfolded in the future of bringing back. I would teach a class periodically at the Theosophical Society in Seattle on Lemuria, and relating those teachings to Helena Petrova Blavatsky, HPB, and what she taught about the importance of Lemuria, and then the bringing back of the energies, the mentality that was Lemuria in the past. So that mountain behind me, where is it? There it is. Okay. That mountain behind me has to do with the release of these energies again to bring back our full development into the third eye and into the higher world and the inner world. Does that make sense to you guys?